Okay, I actually think it's working. Checking audio. We're going. Look at that. I had no faith in my ability to do this. If you're watching, the Meatgistics link at the top, I had to remove it because it will not update. Everything I've done to try to take the old one, make it the new one, is just not working. So I went ahead and removed that. Sorry, if you were trying to watch it through that, you're not going to be able to. So first of all, thanks for joining us. This is a extra weird one. We're doing this because I wasn't able to do one on Thursday, and Tex had a really good idea that we talk about some of the patty mixes. So I went ahead and made a couple of slider size patties because I don't want to eat too much. So we're going to eat those, see what they're like. We'll talk about some of the common ingredients in them, why they are the way they are, what the difference is in one specific ingredient, which I think is why Tex wanted us to discuss these. There's an ingredient in it that at first glance wouldn't make sense if you know a lot about that ingredient, but in the end, it actually will. So let's real quick. Oh, it's Tex. It looks like it's just you and me. So we'll give it a few minutes, but I don't care. I'm making stuff. We'll go through it and have a conversation. Other people can join us later. All right. So first things first, let's go get those sliders. I don't know how this is going to work at all either. Ugh. So there's my grill. I'd probably let them cook just a little bit too long. They look a little dry. Turn that off. One of them fell apart. So I've got my my grill preheated for what we're gonna do after this. But what we've got here are the Montreal Patty mix, the jalapeno, the bacon flavored, the Better Burger, and the roasted garlic and onion. Now, the ones I made were roasted garlic and onion, Montreal, bacon, and Better Burger. The jalapeno is really good, but it doesn't have that one ingredient that I'm assuming is what you want to talk about here. So if you read the ingredients in all of these, the one thing that's going to come up time and time again is encapsulated salt. So very similar to encapsulated citric acid, it is going to encapsulate that salt to prevent the salt from interacting with the meat too early in the season or in the process. Because if we do that, we're not going to get that classic burger texture to it. Instead, what we're going to get is more of like a cured sausage type of texture, which wouldn't be something we'd be looking for at all in a burger. The reason for that is that salt, which if you're watching this, I'm assuming you know, salt helps us cellularize the proteins in a meat, gives us protein extraction, and gives us that smoother look to the meat, that smoother texture. So we want to avoid that. So they encapsulate the salt in some palm oil. Now, with encapsulated citric acid, you have to keep it at above 130 degrees for more than an hour. That's how you're going to be able to totally dissolve that encapsulation. But that is with cottonseed oil. They've used palm oil for this, and it's a lighter coating. It's not as sturdy. It's not as thick. So it does go ahead and dissolve a lot easier this way. So I've got 4 sliders right here. This, luckily, every one of these seasonings, 3 of them have very identifiable particles to them and 1 doesn't. So the one that doesn't is easy to figure out. This one is going to be the Montreal Patty mix. Now, I'll take smaller bites in the future. Sorry. Um, Montreal Patty mix is awesome. It is very, very similar to the Walton's Ultimate Steak and Roast Rub. So it's absolutely great on a burger. The advantage of that Montreal is that it encapsulates the salt. So you're able to get a better texture with your burger than you would if you just mixed in Ultimate Steak and Roast Rub, either Walton's or the Excalibur version. Sorry about that. I will take smaller bites in the future. In text, it looks like we're no longer alone. Hi, guys. The jalapeno's not that hot. Are you kidding me? Like, you think it's hot as compared to other things that are jalapeno? Okay, that I can go with you on, because the Excalibur summer sausage and the snack stick, neither one of those jalapenos are hot. I haven't tried the bratwurst yet, but I am planning on doing that soon. I also got those samples finally came in that are the beer and onion and the smoke and jalapeno jerky. I'm gonna make some jerky with that this upcoming week. I'm gonna make smoke and jalapeno tender jerky. Super excited to see what that's like. But okay, so the Montreal Patty mix, taste-wise, really similar to the Walton's Ultimate Steak and Roast Rub. So if you like that, you definitely will like this. The usage is an entire seasoning, a bag of this seasoning, which is 0.15625 pounds, very accurate, and a quarter cup of water for 6 pounds of ground meat. So if you're making quarter pounders, you've got 24 patties out of one bag. That's really not that expensive, so it's fairly decent. The next one is, where's the bacon flavor? This is the bacon flavored patty mix. This is another one that has encapsulated salt in it, so we're going to take a more reasonable sized bite this time. Now, obviously, I love bacon, but that might be my favorite patty mix. The roasted garlic and onion is really, really good, but that might be my favorite. I haven't done this, and I can't believe I haven't done it yet. I haven't tried Bacon Taste Booster along with that. The Bacon Taste Booster is something that you're supposed to add to bacon to allow you to get old world style, or old world flavor, which is dry rub, with modern curing techniques, so injection and holding. For the longest time, we told people not to use it when they were making other bacon flavored things, but then we tried it with the imitation bacon, and after that we did like the sweet maple bacon snack sticks with it. We did bacon snack sticks. It definitely does pump up the bacon flavor. Now, a good amount of that is really salt. I mean, that's the main taste from that. If you were to eat it just by itself, you would think it was just salt. But definitely does up the bacon flavor, and it's absolutely delicious. I should have added that. I should have thought ahead. And whatever. I'm not that smart. I make YouTube videos on how to make meat. This is a very manly beer. It's pink. It is Rainbow Sherbet. It is from one of my favorite breweries, though, Prairie Artisan Ales. I think they're out of Oklahoma. Small little brewery that does it awesome. Just make everything they make is great. They make a couple of good sours, and as most of you know, I'm a huge sour fan. Next one we're going to try is the Better Burger Patty Mix. Now, Better Burger Patty Mix is the same basically as the Better Burger seasoning that comes in a shaker, but again, that encapsulated salt to prevent the salt from interacting with the meat while you're mixing it, so that you don't get protein extraction and you're able to get a more burger-like flavor. So that is this one. Nope, that's roasted onion. So small bites. What I really like about that seasoning, it is just a classic burger. There's nothing crazy to it. It's not the jalapeno, it's not in the roasted garlic and onion. It's not totally changing the flavor of what you expect from a burger. It tastes like a great burger you're gonna get from, your local burger joint. the Better Burger mix that comes in the shaker is also unreal on French fries, roasted potatoes. Absolutely great. A lot of people also like to put it on broccoli, things like that. I don't eat too much broccoli, so I don't know on that. Oh, good. J. Michael Kaminsky, you got it? Awesome. Um, I think we had 12 things I had to send out. One of them actually got sent back to us. So whoever I sent a knife to, one of the two people I think I sent knives to, it came back to us because I did not put a shipping address. But we're getting that corrected and it is going to go back out to you. So you'll be all good. Text, I already answered what I was drinking, but I'll put it in here just to close that loop. All right, so last one is the roasted garlic and onion. This has been my favorite for a long time. With really good reason. I mean, that is just an excellent overall meat taste. Good kick of salt to it, so it doesn't overpower it, but you definitely get all the other flavors uplifted by the amount of salt in that. And I love garlic. And garlic and onion go together incredibly well. The first thing I really learned cooking wise that increased my ability was sauteing garlic and onion. I mean, those are the two things that so many dishes, especially Italian dishes, start with, and people have a terrible tendency to burn the garlic when you really, really don't want to. You just want to saute it, get it perfect. You go too far and it's going to dominate with a foul taste. All right, so the other things I want to talk about today are ribs. I've got 2 racks in there. I'm going to pull them out. We're going to season them. We're going to do one traditional way, which is how I normally do it, which is I just pick my favorite rub it really well, throw it on the grill at 225 for about 2 hours. I then usually pull it off, put down some butter and some brown sugar in tin foil, wrap it, and then I put it back in the grill for another 2 hours with the meat side down so that all that meat, the main portion of the ribs, is cooking, in that butter. I then pull it out after 2-ish hours there and finish it up on the grill uncovered just to stiffen it up a little bit and kind of redevelop some of that bark that we lost by cooking it in the butter. But Friday after our podcast, I was out just in the store, and Colton, our store manager, had me talking to this guy who does something else with one of our incredibly popular seasoning. In fact, I think it's the seasoning that we sell the most of, and that is the Holly regular pork sausage seasoning. As you can see, it's got this incredibly attractive package it comes in. I mean, who wouldn't want to buy this if you saw it sitting on a shelf? But he puts it on both ribs, poultry, pork, all sorts of things as a topical rub. I've never thought of doing that before. I've done some seasonings that are designed to be mixed into a sausage as topical rubs. Honestly, I haven't loved the results, specifically with the chipotle lime jerky and snack stick seasoning. It didn't work out really well. But he said the secret is to just not too much, just lightly coat it with it. The example he told me not to do, obviously, is don't do it like a brisket. Do it really light, just get a nice coating on it. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. This is where this is going to get dicey. I'm going to try and show you guys what I'm doing while I do it. I've got nobody here with me, so we'll see how this goes. I do have some hand wipes here that we bought at the beginning of the COVID thing and just have never used. So before I go get those, let me just hop in the chat and see if there's anything you want. Yeah, Jeffrey Pearl, it's our best-selling seasoning, period, which is sometimes amazing to me because I like it, but I don't eat a lot of breakfast sausage, in all honesty. If I'm having a meat for breakfast, it's almost always What is that? Something just popped up on my screen from Austin. It says, oh, Leo is watching. Well, hello, Leo. What's your favorite color? And what sound does a monkey make? I want answers to both of those on Monday when I get in. Yeah. I forget where I was going before we talked about that. But I'm going to go grab those. I'm also going to quickly, I'll bring the camera over there and show you my pathetically sad dog who just had terrible surgery. And he's got his little stuffed toy with him. You see his little stuffed toy right up underneath his paw there? Oh, so sad. He's just been exhausted ever since we brought him home. Honestly, it's probably my favorite 2 days with that dog of all time. He's not running around and annoying me. All right, so I'm gonna go grab those 2 racks of ribs. I'll be right back. All right, so the first one I'm going to do is, actually you can see those racks pretty good from there. I might not need to do much with that. That would help a lot. The first one I'm going to do is a new seasoning from Excalibur that we've tried on a couple of things and is quickly climbing the ranks. In fact, it might already be my second favorite Excalibur seasoning. Number 1 is Ultimate Steak and Roast Rub. But this, it is Chipotle Lime Sweet Rub. This is unreal. We did some pork butts with it. It came out absolutely phenomenal. We did some chicken wings with it, which we're going to do after we get these seasoned. We're going to go over how I've been doing chicken wings recently. But yeah, not available on the website yet. And I was planning on not doing it until we launched the new website. We thought we were super close to the new website. We had everything we thought we needed. Turns out that there's going to be a minimum of a week delay. I was hoping that we were going to launch our new website on Tuesday. That is not going to happen. So I will try later today to get the sweet chipotle, or the Chipotle Lime Sweet Rub, the authentic buffalo, and the Nashville Hot Excalibur shakers up on waltonsinc.com. And I will put them on sale for like $1 off or something. So anyone who sees this, you can go ahead and buy some of those for $1 off per shaker. Okay, so ribs, some people rub it with mustard. These are nice and kind of juicy and moist ribs right from the start, so I'm not going to do that. We're going to be releasing a video in the next couple of days where you'll see in just some of the B-roll that I did coat the pork butt in mustard. I don't normally do that, but took the pork out of its package, let it sit for about 10-15 minutes, and it just felt pretty dry. It didn't feel like it had a bunch of moisture to it that was going to naturally let that seasoning grab. So mustard is a good thing to do to help your seasoning stick to it, because when mustard's cooked off, it has very, very little flavor. So you're not really changing the flavor by adding the mustard. You're letting the seasoning stick to the meat better. So here we go. Which one do I want to do the lime? I'm going to do the bigger one. Awesome that I just cleaned my house and have to clean all of this again. So the Chipotle lime. And when you watch our videos, anytime you see me wearing gloves for something like this, it's not because I, want to keep things cleaner. It's because I don't want to wash my hands 50 times. There's no worry about touching, meat with bare hands. You don't need to be wearing a glove with it. It's just a little bit easier for me sometimes so that I can just switch gloves instead of having to constantly wash my hands. I've already pulled the membrane from the bottom half of these. I definitely recommend you do that when you're doing ribs. It's not an enormous deal, but it can occasionally, depending on how it cooks, It can leave a little bit extra pull on the rib, and with the rib, you want that meat coming off just super simple. You just want to be able to bite it, pull the bone away, and be good. So, okay. So that is the Chipotle lime sweet rub from Excalibur. I will get that on the website for you guys to be able to buy here in the next couple of hours. Really, I mean, you can watch an old podcast or video where we were talking about the website. A month and a half ago, I said if we weren't live on the new website in a week, I was going to be screaming. And now it feels like that's further out than we thought it was going to be then. Okay, so this Holly regular pork sausage seasoning, which this half-pound bag is enough to season 25 pounds of sausage. I've never done this before. I was told light, so we're gonna go really light with it. And the person I talked to didn't tell me to do this with ribs, but I am gonna do something slightly different just because I've never done this before and this is how I was told to do it. He said to pour a little bit of oil on it first, but I've got this stuff called duck fat, which I've used on wings, steaks, all sorts of things recently to absolutely phenomenal results. This stuff is awesome. I pushed hard against us not carrying this because I didn't want to set up or have us deal with a whole new vendor just for one product, but I was clearly wrong on that. This thing is awesome. So I'm just gonna, on the meat side, I'm gonna give it just a quick little spray. Just because that's what I was told to do with this and I've never used it before. And then with this Holly, I'm gonna be really careful. It's just gonna be a very light coating. It can't be that light. Okay, just rub it in a little bit to move it around. But with that coating of the oil, we're not too concerned about that because everything's going to stick anyways, and as it cooks, it'll shift around a little bit. Flip that back over. And quickly rub it there. Okay. My hand wipes, when I pulled it out, the next one didn't come up with it. So I'm going to real quick rinse my hands off and I'll be right back. All right, so before I throw those on the grill, quickly check chat. ND Mike, I don't know, we sent it out as a public, so I just assumed it would have sent out all the notifications. We didn't do like an email campaign or anything. These Meatgistics weekly live streams, I'm not trying to push them too much, I guess is the right word. I just want it to be for people who are interested in what we're doing. Sometimes with the monthly live streams, we get so many people in who just are there for, not just there for the giveaways, but are there for the giveaways. And we kind of lose contact with the people who are more interested in the meat processing stuff. So trying to keep this more like core base of Meatgistics users. Yeah, and D Mike, I'm sorry. Whatever was happening with Meatgistics, we have an admin site on the back end. No matter what I did, I could not get it to switch from last week's or whenever the last time we did a live stream. It just kept showing that. I kept putting in the new thing and hitting save, but it wasn't saving. So I just went ahead and removed that live stream from the top. I have a feeling it's because I'm not on our network, but that may or may not make sense. I don't know. I'm sorry. So yeah, the only place this is viewable right now is waltonsinc.com/live and on our YouTube page. At least I hope it's on our YouTube page. Yeah, these one, I think that together they were less than $11. It was like $5.38 and $5 something. I was stoked when I saw those. I'm sure they were down to like the last couple of days, but I didn't care. I was cooking them today. So every once in a while, you can score something pretty good at your local grocery store. At like Yoder's or some more butchery shop, these would have been a good deal more expensive. And we're planning on doing something in the next couple of weeks at least. One of these live streams that's going to be based around trying to take less expensive cuts of steak and get more tender, tasteful products out of it. Because I don't know if you've been to the grocery store or your butcher shop recently, but beef is going crazy. It's absolutely out of control how expensive it's getting. So we did something with pineapple at one point, and pineapple's got something in it called bromelain, and that is a great tenderizer. So we took some pineapple, we went ahead and just ground it up or used a blender, and we poured it into a steak with the pineapple, and it ate through that steak. When we cooked it, it was falling apart. So there are things you can do to take a cheap steak and make it nice and tender. So we're gonna do one of these coming up in the next couple of weeks that'll be focused on that. The other thing we're gonna do with that is I keep hearing, there's a couple of chefs I follow, and I keep hearing that straight from the cooler onto the grill or whatever your heat source is the best way to do it. That's never how I've done it. I was taught growing up, let your steak sit for 10, 15 minutes out at room temperature first. Don't throw a cold steak on the grill. I guess that's wrong. I don't know. My whole life is a lie, I guess. All right, so I'm gonna throw these on. I'll bring you guys with me, but no idea how this is gonna go. Yeah, and I never turned my grill up from 160, so it doesn't matter. It's such a long process. Hopefully you can see from there. So this is my Camp Chef. Couple of things. First, I'll show you what I did wrong. I left this sidekick on till my tank ran empty at full temp once. I just totally forgot it was on, walked away. So I caused some damage to it, but it still works absolutely wonderfully. This, in my opinion, is what makes this whole Camp Chef a million times better than that old ratty, I'm not even going to say the name of it. The other thing that is really great about it is the touch screen or whatever, the digital thing is super easy to use. It comes with 4 probe thermometers. Also comes with this slide here, which is going to remove the heat deflector. So you don't even need that sidekick thing to get a good seared steak. I don't even know where the camera is on this front thing. Yeah, you can just pull that and you're directly cooking over the sear box, which gets super hot. So we're gonna go ahead and up that to 225. We're just gonna hit set temp. We're gonna go to high smoke because we don't care too much about the temperature or the temperature swings. So we're gonna go to 225 since it's not already up. And then when we go back inside, we're gonna do wings. But the important thing to notice here, these shells come standard with this unit. So you're almost doubling your space and it comes standard with it. So that thing is awesome. I absolutely adore that. All right, put this camera back. No, I don't think I'm quite level. Oh, all right. Check chat real quick. So Jeffrey Pirrell says the sweet and sassy apple is great on ribs too. So I like the sweet and sassy Pirrell, and I really like garlic. Tell me in the chat, do you ever think the sweet and sassy is a weird hot? Like there's sometimes I put sweet and sassy on stuff and I eat it. It's like, that's so much garlic, it's almost hot is the only way I can describe it. Like my brain transmits that level of garlic over to heat. Hi, Jim. Where are you in New York? I grew up in Albany, lived in Rochester, Webster, all sorts of areas in New York. Kevin, so we were just talking about that. That's the Camp Chef Woodwind that I somewhat recently got. I absolutely love that thing. Far, far better than my old pellet grill. Part of that is that company would never let us sell their stuff online, so we actively did not do anything to promote them, at least online. In the store, we definitely did. But this one is loaded with a lot more features, and it absolutely heats up quicker. There's no question about that. Shutdown seems a little bit longer, but that's not really that concerning to me. And I think it does a better job with less of a heat wave. Now, part of that is you can set the smoke settings on that from 1 to 10. At 1, it's going to do a very minute heat fluctuation. At 10, it's going to be a lot more drastic, but you're going to get a lot more smoke at 10. I often just set the heat to 5. I split the difference and let it go. With these ribs, it's not going to matter. Go. I just set it to 10. Yep, Ryan Jones is correct. Tex, have you ever been to my house? I mean, how many times have you come to Wichita? I can't believe we haven't had you over for a beer or a meal or something. We'll have to, next time you're in town, we'll work something out like that. Okay, cool. So it is at least on the main YouTube page. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and grab the chicken wings, and then we're gonna go over 2 different ways to do chicken wings. One of these we just did because one of our IT guys was trying to figure out how to make wings that have a Frank's Buffalo like flavor to them without so much heat. When the Frank's doesn't have so much heat, but to some people. So he wanted that flavor without as much heat for it. At the same time, Excalibur came out with this. It's the authentic buffalo wing seasoning. The number 1 ingredient is Frank's original cayenne pepper sauce. This is awesome. So what we do, or what we came up with, was instead of an egg wash, this is mayonnaise with a ton of that authentic buffalo mixed into it. So we go ahead and coat the wings in that. Then we take more of that seasoning and this, which is chicken on the run. I have not heard of a single person who's bought this from us and not absolutely loved the results. Real quick on this, funny story. We've carried this for a really long time in cases to sell to commercial customers. Austin or Brett took a package out and gave it to me. It sat in our media room for 3 years. It even survived a move from one room to another, and we never touched it. We never did anything with it. I finally threw it out. Within a week, Brett's like, hey, we need to do something with this. I'm being told we need to sell them individually. So we had literally just thrown out the old bag, and then we're told we had to do a video with it. However, awesome, awesome thing to be told, because I have put this on all sorts of chicken. I've done air fried, I've done grilled, I've done deep fried. This has not disappointed at all. And for a bag this size, it is super reasonably priced. So I mixed some of that with more of the authentic buffalo sauce, and we're doing this, which is the Better Breader Batter Bowl. Look at that. Can't believe I got that right. It's just a piece of Tupperware, and it's got this divider that sits in. So on the bottom, you put whatever your breading is. Then you lay everything else on top, shake it. You get everything well seasoned a lot easier than you would if you were trying to do it by hand. The other way we're going to do wings, and I will go over this as we show them. Spray the wings with this duck fat And then I'm gonna coat them with Cosmo's garlic parm wing dust. And then everything's gonna go on the grill on that upper top shelf for 2 hours. I don't want to hear anything about cross-contamination. I have very limited resources and this is what I have to do for it. So let me quickly look at chat just to see if there's anything up. From Rochester. Nice. I lived in Webster, so it's a weirdly small world sometimes. We had a huge, one of the very original big Meatgistics users started in Rochester, and honestly, you can make an argument that without as much as he posted initially, that we might not be what it was or what it's become. And he is also the person who introduced us, who brought in finishing up sausage in a sous vide cooker. There was a post called Summer Sausage Nightmare, and he eventually popped into that and helped somebody out and told them, pull it from the smoker, finish it up in a sous vide cooker, you'll be happier with the results. That has become like the #1 thing we tell people to do now, because it just does so much better of a job and it cuts hours and hours off of your smoking process. After the internal temperature of your sausage is like 130, it's not going to really accept any more smoke. So all you're doing is laying it on there, keeping it drying. It dries out as it keeps cooking. It's hitting the stall right around there, so it's taking hours extra time. Absolutely huge difference pulling anything out of your smoker. Well, not anything. Pulling a sausage, summer sausage, snack stick, cured sausage, anything like that, out of your smoker at 130 degrees internal temperature and finishing it up in water that's 170 to 180 degrees. Drizzle the caramel lightly with sea salt. What do you think about doing some medium to hot jerky? Melt down some caramel cubes. When would we add the caramel? I mean, I think yes. I think absolutely. My only concern with that is going to be how sticky everything's going to get, but whatever. You've got some cleanup to do. If you're doing it in a smoker like that, make sure you wrap your drip tray in foil so you can just peel that off and throw it off after. If you're doing it in an oven and a dehydrator, same thing. But that sounds delicious. One of the things that Austin and I used to do all the time for live streams is take bacon, coat it in sea salt, or some of them in sea salt and some of them in the cinnamon toast shake, and just dehydrate that bacon for like 4 hours. It was absolutely awesome. I think Austin stopped liking it so much because his stomach wasn't able to handle it after a while, but I still do it. Okay, so you do it at the end. Interesting. Text, well, now you've been invited. So the next time you're in town, plan to come over for beer and a meal, I guess. All right, let me go get this chicken. All right, so the first ones we're gonna do are gonna be the ones we're gonna coat in this mayo, then place in there, and then shake up. This is an incredibly easy process that really does give absolutely awesome results. Doesn't matter if it's one of the drumsticks, if it's the wingettes, just get it a good coating. And I'm someone, personally, I vastly prefer the wingettes to the drumsticks. I just think they taste way better, way more like a wing kind of should. And the reason we're doing this, covering with the mayo and the seasoning, is to give the seasoning something to adhere to better. That chicken on the run breading, if you try to do it on just a raw chicken, it's not going to stick all that well. I mean, it'll stick, but you're not going to get that nice kind of crusty, thick breading that you really can get on a smoker. For these, we're going to go ahead and smoke them for an hour and a half at 225 degrees. Normally I do about 205, but I've got something else on there. So ribs take priority over wings. And then we're going to flip them, just rotate them, and then do it for another hour and a half or whenever they hit about 165. Now, when they hit 165, I'm going to do some of these. I'm going to make a mixture of Frank's Red Hot and butter. I'm just going to melt some butter in some Frank's Red Hot, and we'll let them coat the wings in that. The other ones we're going to do, and I don't always do this, but I know who's coming over tonight and I know what they like. This is the Captain Rodney's awesome finishing glaze. That's their original boucan. Got a little bit of heat, not too much, just a little bit. Absolutely awesome on wings. I won't do it on the ribs. I've got some barbecue sauce for them if they want to finish it in something. But we really shouldn't need any finishing sauce on ribs. I know some people are going to disagree with me on that, but sometimes people are wrong. Darn, I forgot to do that again. I'm going to open this up. I'll be right back. All right, so now I won't have to get up again to clean my hands. We're going to move this out of the way. Get the cover. This doesn't snap perfectly in place, so just be a little bit careful when you're doing it. See? A little bit comes up on the side there. Still not going to do it perfectly. So we've got perfectly coated wings now. I'm going to take these out, lay them in another piece of Tupperware, because I'm going to do a few more of them like this. Try and do about half and half between this and the garlic parmesan. I'm not normally a huge fan of garlic parm wings, but the last time we did this, we were doing it for a Camp Chef buyer's guide, which should be out in the next day or two, if it's not out already. And people I was doing it with wanted garlic parmesan wings, and man, it worked out really, really well. So again, more coating. And I know you like my manly pink bowl right here. That is the epitome of masculinity, pink bowls. For whatever reason also, I have not been able to find fresh wings recently. Everything's been frozen. I don't know what that's for, but honestly, you just pour some cold water in a bowl and let them sit for 30, 40 minutes. They're mostly defrosted. Okay, that's about half. Same thing. Just there you go, perfectly coated. I don't know if you can see that or not from here. The camera on this cell phone's amazing, but I don't know if it's that good. Yeah, for any of you who joined our last live stream, our Epiphan webcaster just stopped working right before we went live. Just wouldn't turn on. So we decided to try to do it with the camera or the cell phone. It seemed to work okay, but now we're looking at an entirely different system that will allow us to do a lot more from the main unit. I don't know how to explain that well. I'm sure Patrick could explain it better, but it'll allow us to, when we flip between cameras from this unit, it should record directly to it. So it'll make his job a lot easier, I guess, and give us a lot more functionality and versatility. All right, let's get this out of the way. All right, so for the garlic parm wings, a little bit of ice on there still. What I'm going to do is spray them with that duck fat. I'm going to give them a good heavy spray. I want them to be fairly well coated, because then I'm going to dunk them into the Cosmos Q garlic parmesan mix. The Cosmos Q's got a bunch of other ones too, a bunch of different flavorings. This seemed to work best on the smoker. They're 7 pepper. They've got also a Nashville hot. Are all great on chicken, but they don't seem to do as good with smoked wings. Because smoked wings are a lot different than deep fried wings. So we've got a bunch of those. We're going to spray them. Mix them all. Spray them again. And just dunk them right in here. And I've got another Tupperware here that I'll just stage them in before they go into the onto the smoker. So you just want it really nicely coated. That duck fat will do a great job keeping everything right onto the meat. One of the reasons we did wings is we wanted to do some side-by-side comparisons on the Woodwind and the Camp Chef vertical double XL smoker, which is a vertical pellet fed smoker. We wanted to see like which one did best on this and that. We did chicken wings, pork butts. I feel like we did something else too. I've done a snack sticks. Snack sticks was the third one. I've done a ridiculous number of steaks on my Woodwind and absolutely love it. It is awesome for steaks. That side sear box does such an amazing job. It's so much better than having to pull my steaks out of the smoker, wrap them in foil, then kick the heat up all the way on my grill, which would only be 500 degrees. So I'd have to put the grill grates in there. Grill grates are made out of some sort of airplane aluminum or something like that. So they funnel the heat up to a point, and it makes it like 100 to 200 degrees hotter than the rest of the grill, which is great. But I mean, that could take 10 minutes sometimes with my old grill. If it's cold, it wouldn't even do it. And all that basically just to get a sear. This, I take them out of the main box, I put them right onto that side thing that's already at 700, 750 degrees, something like that. And it's got a nice cast iron rack to it. Now here's something that doesn't matter to me. Hope Austin's not watching anymore, but probably will to people at home. I just dumped a bunch of that Parmesan garlic mix into a bowl so I could go ahead and just coat the wings easily. But I mean, look at all that I'm going to lose. There's nothing else I can do with this. It's been in contact with raw chicken, so that's getting thrown out for sure. Probably like a more economical way to do it would be to leave the seasoning in the bag and just sprinkle it over the wings. You'll most likely get very similar results and you won't waste I don't know what that is, probably like a quarter of a bag, and that stuff's not terribly cheap. I think it's $11 or $10 for a 5-ounce bag. So a little bit goes a long way though. All right, so those are gonna go back into the fridge because I'm not gonna put them on the grill until about 3-ish hours before I'm planning on eating them, which is until like 5 or 6, and it's only 1:45 right now. All right. So Jeff Carroll says, your wife is gonna kill you. So no, she's not, and let me tell you why. She's doing something for her master's degree, or not, or her MBA right now. So all the cleaning is on me while she studies. So this won't phase her, won't move the needle one way or another. Andy Mike says, I go through a lot of Costco packs of party wings. Yep, wings are a great snack. Absolutely. I love wings. I'll take wings over, I think, probably any other form of chicken other than chicken thighs. I love chicken thighs. They're so good in the air fryer. What we initially did the chicken on the run with was they have a little pack of a marinade. And the marinade is literally ridiculously cheap, like incredibly cheap. And so you marinate chicken thighs in that, then you coat them in this and throw them in your air fryer. There's enough fat on the chicken fries or thighs for them to crisp up nicely, even in an air fryer. So that's what made us initially fall in love with this chicken on the run stuff. And ever since then, I mean, anytime I'm doing anything it'll work with at all, I've done it. Although I haven't done anything like Salisbury steaks, like a chicken fried steak. I haven't done that. I bet you that would be good. We might have to try that. Let me put these wings in the fridge. Oh, I'm sorry. Here is yet another Manly Pink beer. That is the one thing from Prairie Artisan Ales, their sour pack. This one's called Vape Tricks, one's called Rainbow Sherbet, and the other one's like some guava something. But they're all good. Stacy B, what smoker would you recommend for a small porch? Is there a combo grill that is good? Yeah. So Ryan's right. That Camp Chef, that's the 24-inch. So it's 24-inch wide. I don't know. Let's go look at it. I don't know how wide it is from side to side, but there are a couple of things you could do. That side grill, that side shelf right there, replaces the shelf. So you don't have to have that. You could literally just take that all off. And then all you would have is this 24-inch shelf, which is probably like 26, or smoker, which is probably about 26 inches. And then that's probably another, I don't know, 10, 12 inches, not much right there. That's my cutting board on top of it, so that wouldn't have to be there. So on a small patio, I mean, that would work well. We really like them. They do a fairly good job at pellet management. I've noticed I go through a lot less pellets on these than I did with my old one. If you do a lot of things like summer sausage, snack stick, things you want to hang, I would recommend you go with the vertical XXL. But if you want something that you can grill steaks on, do chicken, pork butts, and you can still do snack stick, summer sausage, all sorts of things on there, I recommend that. I really, really like mine. The one thing I'm a little bit disappointed in, when we initially got those, the side, there were two options to replace the side shelf. One was that sear box, the other one was a griddle. The griddle was not in stock, but it looks awesome. It's significantly bigger than that sear box, so part of me wishes I had waited, but I mean, I've already gotten 20 steaks out of that, so. I missed the intro for the chicken on the run again. Please batter, maybe. Okay, so that's a couple things. Sleeper barbecue, the second one. So the vertical XL starts at 150 degrees. We recommend you start your snack sticks at 120 degrees. However, when we went ahead and did an entire full, well, 3/4 full chamber of snack sticks on the vertical double XL, it took it about an hour to get up to 150 degrees because it's fighting all that cold meat. So what you do is load your smoker first before you turn it on. That way, as it's going up to 150 degrees, you get some conditioning. Another really nice thing about the vertical double XL is you have your hopper over here with your pellets, feeds to a burn box, and then on this opposite wall, instead of just having a vent, it's got a little cover in front of this entire wall, so air cannot just go up through there. It will get pushed back around all the way through the chamber. So it's a simple, clever way of eliminating cold spots. Does a really good job. Okay, I missed the intro for the chicken on the run again. So chicken on the run is this breading. It also comes with a, well, it doesn't come with, you can also get a Flavor Crisp, which is this company, a marinade that's awesome on chicken. I do recommend that you do something with a little bit higher fat content. Chicken thighs work really, really well. Then you can just put them in your air fryer and they'll get nice and crispy. If you do tenders, if you do breast, it's really not gonna crisp up that well in a air fryer just because it doesn't have the fat for it. Now you can spray it with something like duck fat right before you put it in and that will work. But obviously if you're deep frying it, that doesn't, you don't care. That's going to crisp up no matter what, as long as you get this to adhere to the chicken well. Sorry, too fast. Chicken run. Is that? Yeah. So it's how I did it was I just mixed some mayonnaise with some. Do I have it? With some of Excalibur's new authentic buffalo wing seasoning. So I just mixed this together. Then I mixed more of this in with the chicken on the run. And then I used what's called our better bread or batter bowl. I don't think I've ever gotten that wrong. It's just a large piece of Tupperware that has a rack halfway up. You put your seasoning in the bottom half. You put your chicken on the top half. Close it, flip it over. All of the seasoning comes down onto the wing, shake it around a little bit, turn it back over. Awesome. Easy way to do it. All right. Is there anything else? Has anyone tried the Cosmos Peach Habanero Barbecue Sauce? And D-Mike, our retail store manager, has and says it's good. Peach habanero for me isn't something I terribly care for. Captain Rodney's makes one too. I just don't. I'm not a huge peach guy, I guess. It doesn't bring out a lot for me. But I mean, he seemed to really like it. Stacy says Cosmos has some great stuff. They absolutely do. My wife has been liking their clean label seasoning. Let me grab one real quick. It must be all the way done with the lemon. So there was a lemon one that she really seemed to like on pulled chicken. Every weekend we'll go ahead and throw a full package of chicken breasts into our slow cooker, put on some sort of seasoning, and then cook it up till it's like 195 degrees and just do pulled chicken. It's easy to have throughout the week. And she does all of her crazy like planning meals, brings meals with her everywhere we go. So this, which is Cosmos Clean Label, this is their taco, this is their fiesta. But if you look at the nutritional statements on it, it's got sodium's really the only thing in it that's even worth mentioning. This has less than a gram of carbs. Both of them have less than a gram of carbs, no sugar. So they're fairly good for you. Well, no, they're good for you. And there's nothing bad in them when they're tasty. Ryan Jones says, a wise man would take the breader outside and use it so as not to make a huge mess. I think that ship has sailed on me pretending to be a wise man, I think. Yeah, I really like that idea of the caramel jerky. I don't know that doing it at the end is the right way to go, though. It might be better to do it before. So what I would think is slice it about as thick as we would normally for our tender jerky, run it through a tenderizer. Tenderizer is just a unit that has rotating blades that interlock. So it's not actually cutting the meat into smaller pieces, but it's poking holes in it all the way down. You drop it in the top as it goes down. Those blades spin and tenderize it. And then put it in there and try that. I might give that a try. I mean, that does sound really good. Jeff Puro, did you ever answer my question on the sweet and sassy? Whether or not you ever thought that came out as hot? Ooh, Ryan Jones is breaking in his PK original. So a lot of people probably hear PK and assume we're talking about like the PK 100. Hey, sit down. Get back down. Sorry, my idiot dog is up after having surgery and he can't walk around. Sit back down. He's 180 pounds of stupid. Huh? What do you think? What do you think? Who are these people? Oh, we're scared. We've never seen this phone before. For a dog that big, you'd expect him to be brave. He's not. He's the biggest coward with new things you've ever seen. But, all right. Sorry, so what Ryan's talking about is the PK grills. They are a charcoal and wood style grill that's like very old school, simple, but made incredibly well with more modern materials. And luckily, we were about done anyways because I am being summoned by my master, that ridiculous sized dog. So thanks, guys. This was fun for me. If we ever decide to do this again, we know at least it'll work. Thanks, guys. We'll see ya. Where are you going? How do I end this? Yep, that works.